Well, Dallas, dude, it's good to have you here, man. A member of 6K Success, joined up the
Uh-huh.
program, and yeah, dude, I'm stoked to be able to be on here and just kind of hear your story, hear a little bit about what was going on in your life before 6K Success, kind of what has happened as a result of 6K Success, what you learned, what your experience was, and then kind of what you're doing now here, kind of after the fact, and maybe how it's kind of shifted, and really, my goal is for anybody watching this who's kind of thinking about, being in 6K Success, thinking about starting a digital marketing consulting business, thinking about kind of growing that agency, they'd be able to hear your story and learn from that, and get something going, and maybe even join up in our program, 6K Success. So, sound good, man?
Totally.
Awesome, dude. So, tell us just a bit about yourself here. Kind of how old you are, where you're from, and what you were doing before you found out about 6K Success.
Totally. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Boise, Idaho. My previous life, I'm a hockey player. I lived around Canada, U.S. playing hockey actually,
You
and
got you got good teeth though, man.
yeah, dude, I didn't lose many fights.
That's awesome.
I
All the other
played,
guys have no teeth.
I played in your hometown,
Oh, you
right?
did?
For a season in Topeka.
Oh, dude, that's
Played
right.
for Topeka
You played
Roadrunners,
for the
yeah.
road, dude. I remember that on the phone call. That is so random, man.
Yeah, so I played for a chunk of my career in Topeka. Anyways, long story short, a few injuries later, decided to come back home to Boise, start a company called Vivid Roots where we sell things. You can a little represent
There we
right
go.
there.
Vivid Roots, I
Sell
love it.
sell gear online. The purpose is to help inspire people to kind of live life to the fullest, and then help people in need along the way. So what we do is we donate a portion of our proceeds and we help build sustainable water systems in developing countries.
Love it.
So along this journey, we kind of knew nothing about online marketing, and we were broke college students. So we kind of figured out how to hack the system, learned a lot about Facebook and social media marketing. Through that, we had more people kind of like, I had people coming to me asking me how we were doing it, and I really wanted to learn what we had to offer. So I ended up taking on a couple clients and kind of helping them uh, with the things that I knew. And all the while, where I was kind of stuck before I found it is like, man, this is really awesome, but this isn't scalable. And I didn't want my work to be attached to my time. I want to be able to leave, spend time places I love, like Guatemala and Ecuador, and have things going. And so, sure enough, Dave's awesome funnel came up
You
in my
found it through a Facebook ad?
I did it through a Facebook ad, yeah. So I did
Gotcha.
my homework quite a bit. I watched and searched around, and then ended up talking on the phone with you, which I think was super valuable to me because there's a few things that I wanted to make sure I got out of the course. And to me, the most important things that I was validating the course on was getting the business model and the confidence that this model would work because previously I had not found anything um, that was proven, right? I was going to go have to figure out this out myself. And if it would save me those 4 or 5 months of, research and development of trying to figure out how to model it, then the money was going to be worth it right away.
Hmm.
And so, and the last thing was the tools used, right? I didn't want to spend all the time. I know how long it takes to find the good tools, the right tools, and to be able to have that was super valuable
Cool.
for.
Okay, cool. So, kind of backing up. So, you said you had some clients, you were doing some digital marketing, making some money online. What kind of jobs were you working on that weren't scalable?
So I consult for a large agency here, and they pay me pretty good hourly rate, which is great and all. But I I wanted to be able to, um, not only did I want to be able to, run and show that I could get people lots of views and whatever, but I was really interested in the funnel side of things to actually track that process all the way through the transparency of, hey, this is the amount of money you spent, and this is the amount of business that we kind of, laid in front of you. We all know we can't make the sale for them, but we can get, pretty close a lot of times. And so I was able to learn also a lot through the course, how that was possible.
Hmm. Okay. Cool. 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 So, when you're kind of validating it, you said you did your research on it a lot. You knew you wanted, a few different things. You wanted a business model that worked. You wanted the tools that worked. And you wanted just kind of the overall confidence moving forward. Is that something you felt like you didn't really have? Like, yeah, what was kind of like your like state of mind at that point in time as an entrepreneur? What were you feeling?
As not, I knew that the, I knew that what I had to offer people was valuable. I didn't know how to present it and how to, create the cost structure and the revenue stream in a way that was not connected to time.
Hmm.
And I knew it was possible, but I just didn't know how to do it. And this offered me a kind of a fast track to figuring that out.
So you knew people were doing it. You knew it was possible. You just, and again, you're a smart guy. You probably would have been able to figure it out. You just didn't. You wanted the fast track to doing that. You wanted,
Exactly.
and so what kind of were you looking for? Were you looking for kind of just the retainer structure? How do you kind of do pricing? How do
Yep.
you?
The pricing model and the be able to have that, like you said, the retainer model. I think you had that in one of your ads. Getting that on retainer, and I found that was the ad that hooked me,
Hmm.
was that retainer model, saying okay, because that's in my head, that was the pain point that I was searching for, is how to do it. And it's like, oh wow, people are getting paid, you know no matter how many hours you're putting in, it's the same price, and it's worth the value.
Yeah.
And from there, it's like, okay, well, I could have gone and tried to figure that out myself, but I know that would have taken some time and some testing. So if that's going to save me even a couple months of testing and learning myself, I could find that value right away.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think it's a lot of people that kind of come in, or a lot of entrepreneurs out there. They're kind of just wondering, it's like, how do you go from self-employed to business owner? How do you go from essentially just working a full-time job by like bringing on more people and saying, I charge $100 an hour? Again, that's good money, $100 an hour, but it's totally capped, and I think everyone's trying to figure out how do you get past that? And if you can get past that, all of a sudden your hourly wage can go up to $1,000 an hour, $2,000 an hour, and it's not dependent on your time at all. So I think that's the shift I think a lot of people are trying to figure out how to make when they're stuck building one-off websites and stuck doing traditional consulting.
Yep, I totally agree with you. Yeah, there's a lot of value. Anyways, go ahead.
Cool. So as you kind of joining the program, yeah, I mean, what did you experience when you kind of got in? What was your first impression? What happened?
I was just gonna say, my first impression, what I appreciated, not only was it we didn't just get into the meat of things. I appreciated the introduction and the mindset aspect that was really pushed hard to get in there, because I've read Think and Grow Rich, not too long before
Yeah.
I entered the course. I read, a couple of the other books that you had mentioned, kind of adopted that mindset mentality. Um, and then your course kind of came into that after I kind of had developed that mindset a little while back. And so to see that, be like, oh, wow, like this dude's on the same page. Like these guys,
That's cool.
we're flowing already. I was like, and to know, like, I had already been, I bought that book for a bunch of my friends and was like, dude, this is huge value to you.
Huh.
So I know that, the other 6Kers that hadn't found that yet, that's huge, huge, huge value.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think that's an underrated amount of value that's right up front.
Oh gosh, dude. I feel like just your perspective and thought process and, where you're at mentally is like 90% of this whole battle. And
Entirely.
none of the rest of it works until you can kind of get to that spot where you can run.
Exactly, exactly. And so I really appreciated that part, and then I was able to quickly move along, and I knew when I was going in what I wanted out of it. So I was able to hit it. It was organized nicely so that I could go, oh, that's what I want. That's the piece. That's the piece. I was able to make some phone calls, and I knew now that structure. I already had been, had some people in my back pocket, had kind of like talked to them, about opportunities. And then I knew how to structure it. I was able to make the phone call and
So
basically.
you kind of knew, I mean, you already had some people in the pipeline, just, in your network that you kind of knew.
Yep.
You're like, I could make them an offer if I knew what the offer should be.
Exactly.
And so as soon as you kind of had, okay, here's how you structure the retainer. Here's how I can do the Facebook ads. Here's what's in the package. Here's how to take payment. You could go out there, have a conversation with them and sign them up to work with you.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay. And so is that what you did then? Did you go call up some people
Yep.
and
Yep. Made some phone calls and was kind of like, hey man, remember we were having a beer? We were talking about this when we met. We met out at some outing one time, and I was just like, I was just thinking about you, and wondering how you guys are doing, and yada yada yada, and it continues on,
that's
and
awesome.
offered, does this value sound good? And they talked to their business partner, and it sounded like a good deal, and we got him paying right away.
Awesome. Awesome. So how soon into the program did you sign that first client?
I think it was 3 days. It's like 3 days.
That's awesome.
I got the confirmation on the phone, and then I got payment like not too far after.
Okay, cool. So you hop in, you check it out. Next day, you call the guy back, and tell me, what was it like signing that client? How did that process go? What did you offer them? What's kind of the service that you're providing? How'd you pull it all off?
So it's an adventure park, and they have really really good operations. They have a great business. One of the things I've been focusing on is only partnering with awesome business, because great marketing can't hide bad business. So they were doing a great job, and they were spending a lot of money on things that just aren't showing them their what it's worth. And so my biggest focus was to show transparency. I just want you to see where your money's going and what's happening with that. So I really sold them and on the ability to build that list and be able to track people through tracking pixels, and offer some other things like that. So we did a contest campaign giving away a little giveaway to their park, and we're able to we're currently growing the list right now.
And so you set them up with a Facebook ad campaign.
Yep, Facebook ad campaign, with a landing page to capture as many leads as possible, as we can grow that list, so that as they have more things that go on throughout the summer and their year, that we can now remarket to people that we know are interested in. So
that's cool.
Yep.
That's
so
cool.
Facebook ad on retainer for $1,600 a month.
That ain't bad.
No, not at all.
That goes a long way in Idaho.
Oh, sure does, man. It's good living out here.
That's awesome. And was that like a higher price point than you'd kind of initially thought about in this business? Is that about right what you were thinking, or what?
It was in the ballpark of what I was thinking, and I still believe you can go higher depending on what value you're providing. Because I now through the course have learned that it's not necessarily every client's different. So one client, this same process could provide way more value. And so we can structure the price based on how much value it's going to bring.
Yep, totally.
Rather than our time, or And the other thing that really opened my eyes is I'm contracting for an agency, right? So I'm watching the exact way that, I'm not going to say they're ripping people off, but people are spending a lot of money because everybody's business is by time and by impressions.
Yeah. So you're just seeing how they're charging and being able to pull that into your business as well.
Yep. So that's been super valuable, because I know I can, I'm watching what they're charging. It's like, well,
Yeah. And so how did that feel to sign that first client then?
Dude, it was killer, man. I was stoked, and I knew, okay, well, now I know it works. So now I just really got to buckle down and learn the other half, which is the funnel side of things.
Yeah. Getting a steady flow of leads.
Yep.
Totally. And yeah, dude, I remember when we signed our first client, it was like this little $500 SEO deal, $500 a month SEO deal. And then we kind of outsourced the work to an SEO guy for $400. We had like $100 in the middle that me and my partner JP split. And I remember we were so pumped up. We went and took all of our friends out to dinner and bought dinner and drinks. It's like, we spent, $300 or $400, off the first client. And that was like 4 months worth of profit, But it was just such a good feeling, man. It was like I've been grinding so hard for a long time, and it was time to just, celebrate a little bit. So
yeah.
It's a good feeling when you get something going.
Totally, man. It feels great. It feels even better that I'm going to be in Guatemala, working in an orphanage, and then with some of my partners down in the mountains, and I'm going to be getting paid while I'm there.
Cash is still coming in.
Still cash, because the program's running,
Yeah. So how are you managing it now? Are you doing the work? Do you have a contractor that's doing the work, or how did you set it up?
I'm doing the work right now.
Okay.
That was important to me. I thought a lot about hiring contractor out right away, because I was like, let me get my time. I want to free from time. That's my biggest thing. I can get contractor right away. But then is my perspective in sales. I want to know the system backwards and forwards. I want to actually know the programs, uh, so that I can do it and do it, learn how to do it the right way. And I know that'll just make, as we grow, the process so much better. So I
Yeah.
decided to buckle it down these first few clients
Perfect.
and do them myself.
Yeah, dude, I love that. I love that. And it's more money for you right now. And then, yeah, as you grow your business, you'll, get other employees and contractors in there under you. Uh,
Exactly.
that's great. Okay, so, now, so you've kind of, you've got that client recently, you're kind of managing it. I know you've kind of been working on the Vivid routes and you're going down to Guatemala and whatnot. Where do you see all this going here, moving forward for you? How do you see growing this business working out?
It's great. I have a partner on this as well who's kind of been in this same zone as I have been, and we decided to go in on it together just to really try to grow it faster. And so it's really good. We're really reaching into our network and building those relationships, so that the close is coming a lot easier. So we're kind of right now kind of setting ourselves up to get a few more case studies under our belt. Hopefully, with the people that we're talking to right now, we can have about 10 clients together by the end of the summer.
Hmm.
Use those as our case studies so we can then build out our funnel, and then not only build out the funnel, but figure out the niche that we can provide the most value to. And so we're kind of testing those waters right now.
Awesome. Awesome. So, how much do you want to be making in your business, let's say 12 months from now?
12 months from now with this business, um, I'd love to be making, let's see, I'm trying to think of my dream line that I put together at the beginning of the course. And um, so my goal is to make $250,000 by 12 months
That's
from
awesome.
when I started. So per month, it's always going to be growing, but I hope to be doing at least 50,000 a month.
That's awesome. That would be exciting. And how does that change life for you? I know you love going down and taking trips down south. And like, what does life look like for you at 50 grand a month, do you think?
Oh, dude, it would be killer. That's opportunity, man, to help other people. And my biggest goal is not necessarily I want to I want to do it so that I could teach other people how to do it. And maybe not necessarily to always teach them, but then give them the confidence, because I know, like, as far as intellect goes, and all that stuff, I'm, pretty middle of the road guy. So if I could do it, I feel like, just about anybody could do it. So that would look killer, man. I'd be happy camper being able to travel and head down south and grow our
That's cool.
nonprofit.
That's awesome. That's awesome, dude. You're a good dude. I get excited about where you're headed here. And then kind of wrapping up here, man, like, what would you say, who would you say 6K success is good for? Is a great fit for? And what would you say to anybody who's kind of on the fence, kind of thinking about it, checking it out? What would you say to them, advice for moving forward?
Totally. I've had a couple people reach out to me actually already on LinkedIn and on
That's cool.
Facebook,
That's
asking
awesome.
what I think of the course and everything like that. And this is what I had. I think that there's value for couple types of people. I think there's a lot of value for those people that are talented in the digital marketing niche but don't know how to sell very well. I think that listening to your techniques and that aspect, I think, is super super valuable for some people that really need to learn how to sell their services. Then I would say the other group of people would be people like me who had a good idea of what I was doing, but I just needed to know that this model would work, um, so that I could use this model to separate myself from time.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Um, that's awesome, man. Well, dude, any other thoughts here?
No, man, thanks for doing what you're doing. It's killer, and a little plug. I don't know how many people on the 6K Success Course bought your book, but I was just over in Europe for 3 weeks, and I texted you and Chris, and I was like, mad props.
Yeah, that was awesome to get that text from you, man.
And yeah, so that was a great book, and I think it adds a lot of value to kind of know who the instructor is and what they're about, and
Totally.
a little
Yeah.
different feel from you.
Yeah, no, that's been cool. It's been fun building a friendship with you and being able to text you and hop on calls and stuff like that here. That's it's probably a little different than most people run some sort of info product course. But
Yeah.
well, we just love it, man. We love connecting with people. We love helping people. Like we just had Mark Williams and Sean Camella from the group. We were out playing golf with them yesterday here out here in DC, and it's like, dude, they just came in through a Facebook ad like 8 months ago, and it's like we kind of become
Yeah.
friends, and they've grown their business, and now it's like, dude, we roll together, so we get excited about that.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome, guys. Well, we'll kind of close out here again. This is Dallas Vivid Roots. Give us the rep again. You got the shirt. Let's see the shirt.
Oh yeah, check it out.
There we go.
Vividroots.com. Give some
Dallas,
people clean water.
Down with Vivis Roots. Again, if you guys are thinking about joining 6K Success, I mean, check it out. You can go to 6ksuccess.com/program. I'll put a link here somewhere near this video. And yeah, I'd love to have you guys check it out. Again, if you're kind of thinking about getting into digital marketing, you already have some of the skills, but you just don't know how to monetize it. You want to kind of package this up into a retainer service you can go sell to clients, using, high ticket methods and generating consistent flow of leads. Check us out. I'd love to have you in the program. I'd love to help you get your business going as well. And you get to hang out with cool guys like Dallas too, which is pretty sweet. So awesome, Dallas, dude. Appreciate you hopping on here, man. We'll chat here soon.
For sure. Cheers, guys.
All right.